Last time, there was a lot of celebration and cheer and happiness because I released my game. So what is there to talk about now? A lot, actually. I'll be talking about how the launch went and what I've been doing with the game since. So the game has been played over 35,000 times, which isn't Stardew Valley levels of success, but this has been my most popular game yet. Except for maybe Delta Chase, but I don't want to look at that just in case it's true. The first week the game was out, there were so many entries on the leaderboard that you basically broke it. I had planned to manually reset the leaderboard every Sunday, so every week you'd get a new leaderboard. And the first Sunday that I went in to do that, to manually reset the leaderboard, it wouldn't reset. It took like 3 days to finally get it to work. And I did not get the daily trophy that I was after, the gold one.
I love gold!
That was given to an animation, so I can kinda lie to myself and pretend that I got the gold trophy for games that day. But at the end of the month, the game was voted for as the 5th best game to come out of February on the site. Which actually meant that I got a check for some money from Newgrounds, and I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen, but apparently it does. So I have now been paid by one of the oldest sites to host games on the internet. Newgrounds actually predates Google, so it's a really old site, and I kind of feel like I've gotten a piece of history by getting paid from that site. My childhood self is pretty happy. But all of this came with some feedback, which I love, I really do, but some feedback hits you harder than others.
I'm just going through the same rooms over and over. They really aren't given like any real fascinating like variability to them or something. And the power-ups seem so boring. They're just, percentage bullshit or something like that. And there's no real fun juice to the game, like these collapsing environment things, so bad. Like, where's the gibs? Where's the chunks of wood flying?
Joking aside, the feedback was generally really great. And even that video was really good. I'm just clipping from the end.
It's certainly a really solid prototype. It's got all the pieces there. It's got, stuff.
With 35,000 plays, you run into a lot of issues that you didn't realize were issues. A lot of common bugs and things popped up. Some of them I fixed on the fly, and other ones I just added to my list to tackle later when I come back to the game, eventually. And if you want an example of a bug that just never crossed my mind, ever, and might have not crossed yours either, is that to save myself on time, rather than having an internal save system and an external save system, I just saved everything externally, because then I just had to do it once. But that meant that your system needed to be able to accept external storage. So if you played the game in incognito mode or with some kind of strange browser that didn't accept external storage, the game just never saved. And I don't mean saved and then you come back the next day and play it again. I mean save like you do a run, you get your points, and then you go to the shop. That points value was an externally saved data point. So you would just have 0 coins, which is a big deal in a game where you're supposed to go get points, come back, and spend them. So that was unfortunate. Oh, and the game also got stolen a lot. A lot of sites just took the game and put it up on their site.
Oh, that's not very nice.
And I know the game is free, but you still can steal it by being a douchebag. So some sites out there stole the game, but not only did they leave all my links in the game, they also, in the description, linked to my YouTube channel. So if they had players play the game there, they could find me on social media and subscribe to my channel, which was kind of the whole point of the game in the first place, or at least this version. And so that's pretty cool. Other sites went through the effort of taking out all of the external links, so that's a thing. So that's what happened with the game after launch. Now let's talk about what's happening with the game now. I stumbled my way into a conversation with somebody that was interested in paying me to put the game on their site. And I like money, so I said sure. But they had a short list of requirements that I figured I'd get done in a week. And after looking it up, a lot of other sites, including Google Play and some other hosting platforms, all have similar rules about scaling and accessibility and file size and things like that. So I figured I would take a week away from everything, YouTube and everything else, to get the game working so that I can ship it off to these different sites and make a little bit of money. Now, this wouldn't be on the main version of the game. I would essentially be branching it off to its own version just for these sites, but it was only going to be a week, so it wasn't a big deal. The first thing I had to do was remove the Newgrounds SDK, the leaderboard system and achievements and things from Newgrounds. That was quick. Then I had to add mobile controls, because a lot of these platforms want you to be able to have games that work for both desktop and on mobile. And again, this wasn't too tricky because with GDevelop there's actually an object in the engine that is just a joystick. So I can put that into the game, map the character's movement and the gun's movement to the joysticks, and that's it. It did take a little bit of messing around to get that to work properly because when you're in a hurry, you're just making stupid mistakes. You know that story about the tortoise and the hare, where the faster you go, the slower you actually are? That's exactly what happened. Looking back on it, I have no idea why the mobile controls took so long, but they did. I slapped a button into the game so you can dash around, and we're good. But then came scaling and adjusting to different screen sizes and things like that. The basic concept of this wasn't too difficult. All I had to do was put up black bars on either side of the screen so it lines up with the edges of the room that you're in, and then allow the mobile joysticks to expand with the screen. So this way, if you had like a really long phone or tablet or whatever, it would stretch out without revealing the fact that you're in just one room and there's no actual dungeon. But then I came to the special abilities, which kind of required a mouse, just because of the way that I set them up. If I'd set them up so that they come from the player out towards something, then it would have been no problem. But I'd set it up specifically so that the mouse is what controls where the effect goes to for two of the characters. So I had two options: rework how those special abilities work for the characters, or just delete the energy bar so no one knows that it's a thing if they're playing on mobile. And I know which option sounds easier, so sorry to mobile users. But at least the game works on mobile, and that's the only thing I had to sacrifice. Then it came to file size, which I was pretty happy about already. 18 megabytes doesn't sound very big, but after talking to these different sites, they wanted 4 megabytes, which is a big difference. And I'll be honest, I have not solved that problem yet, but I will figure it out. Somebody talked about something very complicated with downloading your assets from a different source, so you only load a little bit of your game first and then download the rest later from the internet. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I'll figure something out. Or I'll break out the puppy dog eyes and beg them to take the game anyway. One or the other. Now, I had a goal for this game launch to get 50,000 plays. In my head, for some reason, I thought that 50,000 would be a number that was big enough to tell me that the game would be successful if I put some real time into it and released it on Steam. I didn't get to that 50k, but 35,000 is my best yet. And if I release this game onto other sites, that number is surely going to go up. So now I have a weird favor to ask. Can you comment down below and tell me what you think would have been a good indicator of the game being popular enough to release it on Steam and expect it to be successful? You can't see me doing air quotes, but I am doing air quotes. I know that successful is subjective, but I do want to know what people think. Obviously, mobile games and Steam games have different numbers. So let's just talk about Steam. How many plays of a free game to get before the developer should just jump in and bring the game up to a Steam level status, where they can sell it for actual money? Bit of a weird question, but this is also a bit of a weird episode that wasn't supposed to happen. I was supposed to be done in a week, and you folks were never supposed to know about it, because it was never supposed to be enough content for a video. A big thank you to my patrons. Because of them, my coffee cup is full. And as always, the links to all the places that I hang out are down below, and if you decide to click on one, then I will see you there.